Alright, it's time for King's Quest 6. Opening and play? Wonder if I'd play if it does the opening. I guess I can skip it if it doesn't. Or if it does, I mean. Oh yeah, I forgot this one's even more graphical. Actually, looks like the scene looks like it's 3D, but they make a video
Alexander, here you are. Oh, you're still not thinking about Cosima, are you?
I suppose I am.
Son, it's been months. You've got to pull yourself together. After all, you only met her that once.
I know.
Have you discovered anything about the land of the Green Isles?
No. No one's even heard of it. It's like she's just vanished.
I wish I could help. Please try to think about something else, dear.
I'll try, Mother.
He's just obsessed with this random girl he met once. The old days. Really slow motion 3D videos. Here. That we got all the way back in King's Quest 1. Is still used for everything. Wonder if they still use the chest in the other one.
Alexander, I feel so alone. I don't know what to do. Alexander, I wish you were here.
Cosima! Wait! Mother! Mother, come quick!
So she's just as obsessed as he is. Weird flag in the background there.
Alexander, what on earth? You're white as a ghost.
Mother, I saw Cosima. She was in the mirror.
In the mirror? The magic mirror?
Yes! And it showed me how to find her.
How?
The stars! I saw the stars outside her window.
You
I
can
can
memorize the
navigate
star.
by the stars.
Oh, Alexander, if you really go...
It will be all right, Mother. I promise.
Nobody tried to stop him? Man, I forgot about most of this intro. It's a very slow-ass intro. And that water looks completely flat. He's the only one on the boat. No one's with him. Absolutely nothing on the horizon. An island.
Land ho! Land ho! Land ho!
Wonder if these are the same pirates from 3. The ones that tried to kidnap me. Also, why does he have pirates on his ship? Like, I wanted a night patch. Oh no! Crash. What happens to the other people on the boat? Do they just die? Did it freeze? Or does the music just out of sync? Yeah, I guess maybe the music's out of sync. There's a pixelated ass font. Are we getting all the credits right here in the intro? Yeah, I remember most of this game, but I remember there's like a bunch of things I don't remember the order of. Okay, can I skip now if it's gonna... Don't want to sit there with credits. Oh yeah, I guess we have to go play again now. Hopefully it doesn't try to replay that. Here we are on the island. Gotta do the usual thing.
Alexander is carrying nothing. Alexander is carrying nothing.
Use that pop at the end of that.
Alexander's royal insignia ring lies abandoned on the sand. It must have slipped from his finger during the shipwreck. Fortunately, it was not lost in the sea. Alexander picks up his royal insignia ring from the beach. The remains of Alexander's sailing ship lie dashed upon the distant shore. The ship is ruined. It has nothing further to offer Alexander. The sand is warm to the touch. Alexander pushes the plank to one side. A box has been partially buried under sand. There's a copper coin in the treasure box. The coin bears the seal of Daventry and King Graham's noble face.
He has his face on the currency now.
Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is. Alexander is carrying a copper coin of Daventry. King Graham graces the front of the coin. Alexander's ring is made of the purest gold and has the insignia of the royal family of Daventry on its face.
Off to start our adventure.
A hollow in the trunk of the old tree forms a perfect nesting place for wildlife. Alexander examines the tree's hollow, but finds nothing of interest.
Absolutely nothing. Let's see what's up at the castle. Strange dogmen.
Two guards take their stance in front of the castle doors. They look quite fierce and have the stiff, blank expression of soldiers on formal duty. Alexander politely addresses the odd-looking guards at the castle doors, hoping to learn more about his predicament.
Good day to you, guards. I was cast upon this island in a storm, and I'm a little confused about my location. Could you tell me what place this is and who lives in this castle?
Hey, what is that you say? A castaway? A likely story. We haven't had any foreigners in this part since Alhazred arrived.
Don't be so rude, Gruff. He's not asking for any secrets. You're standing on the Isle of the Crown, lad, and this is the Castle of the Crown. The royal family resides here. Rather, what's left of the royal family.
The Isle of the Crown? But tell me, am I anywhere near the land of the Green Isles?
This is the land of the Green Isles. The Isle of the Crown is the main island, foolish boy.
Then Princess Cassima must live in this very castle.
Aye, the princess is indeed our treasured jewel to God, and we consider it an honor.
Excuse me, guardsmen, guard dogs. I've been traveling for months to see Princess Cassima. I would like an audience, please.
I'm sorry, but the princess is not receiving visitors, particularly not strangers.
If I show you this ring.
Alexander decides to show his royal insignia ring to the Castle of the Crown guards. With all of his papers lost in the shipwreck, it is the only possible calling card he can think of.
Good day. I'm Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm an acquaintance of Princess Cassima. If you could just inform her that I'm here, please.
So everyone says. Let me just look at that ring.
What does it say, Gruff?
Kingdom of Daventry, Prince Alexander. Wait here while I go see what Captain Saladin thinks of this.
The guard returns a moment later with a majestic-looking creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that is gentle, but reflects a will of iron.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Wazir
That voice sounds
Alhazred will
familiar.
want to meet you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess.
Sounds like the guy you played
follow me.
Megabyte in Reboot. I can't remember his name, though. I don't remember what happens if you come in here.
Lord Alhazred, a visitor to see you. Prince Alexander of Daventry.
What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander?
Pardon the intrusion, my lord, but I came to see Princess Cassima. Some months ago, my father, King Graham, saved my family and I from imprisonment under an evil wizard named Mordak.
The same wizard that kidnapped the princess?
Exactly. When my father rescued us, he also liberated Cassima and sent her home.
Then your father has my gratitude, and that of the entire kingdom. But I'm afraid I still fail to see the purpose of your visit.
Wowie.
Well, I came to make sure that Cassima arrived safely and to pay my respects. Before we parted, she gave me an invitation to visit.
I have no doubt she did exactly that at the time, Prince Alexander. However, Things have greatly changed for Cassima since her ordeal in Mordak's castle. Cassima's parents both became ill and died while she was gone. Cassima is sequestered in mourning for them as befits a princess. She is not receiving visitors of any kind. Even if she were, I do not think your visit would be appropriate. You see, it is time for Cassima to take her responsibilities seriously. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. As was her parents' wish, Cassima and I are to be wed. We shall rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Cassima wants now. As a prince and a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment.
I see. I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Cassima... Well, I apologize.
A young man sees what he wishes to see. I'm sorry you've wasted your time traveling to the land of the Green Isles. May your journey home be swift.
Perhaps I will take the opportunity to look around your fair land while I'm here.
I would advise against that. The kingdom is rather, shall we say, inhospitable these days. But it is your neck. You may risk it if you please. Captain Saladin will escort you from the castle. Good day.
Why is he standing there with his sword ready the entire time? What are we gonna do? Try to kill him?
You have had your hearing with Wizir Al-Hazred. I trust you will respect his wishes and not return. I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again.
Oof.
Good day, my lord.
Captain Saladin whispers something to the guard dogs at the castle gate, and they nod with understanding.
Well, I guess we're not getting back in there.
Alexander has a feeling they won't be letting him into the castle again. There's a little hut just off the path. Perhaps the guard dogs have an occasional use for it, but it looks empty now. The side of the castle is one big blank wall. The wall is quite solid. Alexander's hands would give way long before the wall did.
Just start punching the wall.
The narrow path ends abruptly at a pile of boulders.
Hmm.
The narrow path...
What? I'm walking away from it. Time to explore.
There's a battered wicker chest in front of a shop. The battered chest does not interest Alexander. It's probably full of plain earthenware.
Good day.
Towering mightily over the other pawn shop curiosities, the stuffed bear makes an ostentatious display.
Good day, merchant. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I can tell you she is in a dark time. Without the ferry, communication between the islands has ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the crown has not done something about it is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper. not a politician, and can only hope for better days.
How bide you, good merchant?
Quite well, though a purchase would not hurt me any.
How bide you, good merchant?
Quite.
Hmm.
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
I see you have noticed my mechanical nightingale. She is made of plain tin, but she sings the sweetest song you can imagine, barely distinguishable from the real thing. The flute is only made of plain wood, but its notes are fine and true. Ah, yes, the painter's brush. It was well used by one of the island's best painters. There's a lot of creativity in that brush, and its bristles are still in good condition.
I honestly don't remember what order you're supposed to take these things in. I know you can always trade them at any time.
Have you an interest in tinder boxes? This one is only slightly battered. It holds a good supply of flint, a sturdy striking pad, and even a candle in case you find yourself with naught else to hold the flame.
I guess we'll take that one.
I believe I'll take the tinderbox.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop.
Oh, whoops. I think I clicked it by accident.
The pawn shop's tinderbox is slightly battered, but in reasonably good shape. The tinderbox contains a candle, as well as some flint and tinder.
Can I give him this?
Can you tell me,
I don't
merchant,
remember this.
what the value of this ring might be?
By the sands of the sea, what a beauty! What fine gold and masterful artistry! This ring is quite valuable, sir. I would not feel right taking it in trade. None of the items on display in my humble store are even close to the value of this ring.
Truly? Well, it would be hard to part with it anyway, I suppose.
For some reason I thought you could temporarily do that.
The back wall of the shop holds various odds and ends. For example, a hull hole detector for finding those hard-to-spot holes in small sailboats. Cat cookie mix. Play tricks on your friends, the box says.
Wait, so is there cookies to turn people into cat?
A golden bridle finder for finding those nearly invisible golden bridles.
Nice.
Self-adhesive emeralds, what you use when you don't have honey.
Wow, so many references.
Tongue climbing gear, tested on over 100 whale tongues. A uvula tickler, guaranteed to make large mammals sneeze.
It's pretty much every item that we needed in previous games.
A cheese hook for retrieving cheese out of small holes. A shovel that's guaranteed not to break for over 100 grave diggings.
Jeez.
A bridge repair kit for when you've crossed a bridge one too many times. Stair traction pads. Stop slipping off those narrow staircases. A hull hole detector for finding those hard-to-spot holes in small sailboats.
Oh, that's talking about 5.
A tall skeleton lends an air of mystery to the shop. A horn, probably used for drink or powder, hangs from the ceiling. A worn leather wineskin is suspended from the ceiling. A small rusty hatchet seems permanently embedded in a log of wood. Alexander's mind races over the possibilities. Perhaps the bound duo is the local woodcutter's equivalent of the sword and the stone. Perhaps someday, somehow, someone will free that hatchet and become king of the forest. Then again, it could be just a rusty hatchet stuck in a log.
Oh my god.
A strange-looking winged device occupies one corner of the room. It is frail with disuse. Alexander finds it intriguing. Perhaps he thinks it was once used in a local sporting event, in which enthusiasts jumped from cliffs, glided on air currents, and then attempted to land, frequently crunching a bone or two in the process. Alexander shudders at the thought and decides to stick to dragon slaying. An old suit of armor stands in the pawn shop. It looks like a vigilant guard against thieves and carpet salesmen, even though it is headless.
I'm liking all the flavor text in this area.
The land of the Green Isles must have at least one inhabitant with interest in the mystical, for a crystal ball has been traded in along with the more common household goods. A small red drum beats no more on the shelves of the pawn shop. A lady's hand mirror has been separated from its original trousseau, and now gathers dust on the pawn shop shelves. The pawn shop is a dimly lit place with a slightly musty smell. Curiosities litter every corner and every shelf. For sale are articles that range from the bizarre to the commonplace, from the priceless to the practical. A helmet, probably belonging to the headless armor also in the shop, has found its way to a separate part of the counter. If Alexander wants anything from the pawn shop, he'll have to first give the pawn shop owner something in trade.
I know at some point you can get more than one item from him, I just don't remember how. Music is so nostalgic for me. Bookshop.
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
An old man occasionally steals sidelong glances at Alexander from under a concealing hood.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious... Alexander rests his feet for a moment. Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was refreshing. There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads, "Take one, please." Only one book remains on the table. It looks like the bookshop owner really wants to get rid of that book. Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop. A collection of children's books fill those shelves. Alexander is a little old for those children's books. A plaque bearing a merchant crest hangs over the doorway. The bookshop owner must be proud of his credentials. Assorted travelogues and biographies are arranged on these shelves. Right now, Alexander is too involved with the journey he's on to take time to read about the journeys of others. These shelves hold a collection of oddly titled guidebooks. Alexander notices such books as How to Become King with Little or No Rupees Down, Finding the Right Girl with the Right Dowry, and Why Good Princesses Like Bad Wizards. Alexander is not interested in those self-help books. Volumes of poetry are on display on this bookshelf.
Oh, I didn't look over here then.
Thinking of Cosima, Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, "Thy hair, thy lips, thy beauteous face, and all thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast." Not bad. And another. "Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there." Yikes. And another.
Oh my god, how many
"What
were we
was
reading?
it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight, I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me, and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name, that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply, its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you."
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
Oh, page fell.
Alexander picks up the fallen page. It's the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book.
I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I have glued the stubborn thing back in place 2 times already.
I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant.
I'm getting all the free stuff from this guy.
Alexander has a love poem from a book in the bookshop. These shelves hold a selection of cookbooks. Alexander isn't interested in the cookbooks on that shelf. He's had an aversion to cooking ever since he experimented with a certain cookie recipe involving cat hair and fish oil.
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands: the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go.
What the hell does that mean?
Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
How fare you, merchant?
Sufficiently well, thank you, Alexander. My only wish is for more time to read.
All right. Can I show him the ring?
There's no reason to use that on the books.
I was using it on him.
Would you be interested in this ring?
It is a stunning ring, but I do not deal with jewelry and personal effects. Books
giving it
and
to you?
hard gold are all I can handle. You might check with my neighbor next door, though. He deals in such things.
The old man would not be interested in anything that Alexander might show him.
Hmm.
An old beggar is peddling his wares in the village. He offers a variety of lamps, all neatly lined up on a long pole.
Good day, peddler.
Good day, sir. If you would like to get one of my fine new lamps, I'll need an old lamp in trade.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, I'd be richer than a king. Besides, there's always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
Mm-hmm. Can I give him this one?
Would you accept this in exchange for one of your lamps, peddler?
I am only interested in old lamps, son. Sorry.
Wowie.
There's a young girl in the yard. The girl is dressed in a long, plain orange robe with a thick headdress. From the appearance of her clothes and from a skittish, fearful look about her, Alexander gets the strong impression that she is a servant, or even worse, a slave. The serving girl appears to be stealing a quiet moment tending the rose bushes. The girl is too far away to hold a conversation with Alexander. Alexander has not been invited to pick the family's roses.
That sounds
Alexander
like a
doesn't want
euphemism.
to intrude on private property unless he's been invited.
I've told you a million times. Those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you.
Wowie.
You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning. And get your veil back on. No one wants to look at your face.
Jeez.
Yes, stepmother.
Time to steal the
Alexander
roses.
has not been invited to pick the family's roses.
But they're jerks. Why can't we steal roses?
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Oh, I remember this now. Fine, let's
Considering
go
the
in.
poor condition of the shore, it looks like the easiest way to get into the water is just to jump off the pier. The powerful currents grab Alexander. Struggle as he might, he feels himself being pulled out to sea.
Rip.
not a very good swimmer, are you?
Help me!
Sorry, I think not.
What a jerk.
As his head submerges for the third time, Alexander finds himself pondering the wisdom of going out on a limb for a stranger.
Alright, the death in this game.
Tickets up. Next.
Alexander couldn't handle those currents. That boy must be an unbelievably strong swimmer. A young boy is happily swimming in the sea off the docks.
Good day. I'm Alexander. What are you doing in the sea?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm swimming. I mean, come join me. The water's wonderful. I can show you the way to the next island. Come. What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
Sure.
Yeah, what do you want?
Oops.
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
What is that?
A table is positioned in front of two plain wooden chairs. The table consists of a board placed over a small barrel. There's a rabbit's foot on the table.
Can I take that?
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you. I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing.
What?
'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can,
What happened to
Alexander.
our magic map from number 3?
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly.
Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen. They served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
That mean?
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit...
I guess we're done talking to him.
The ferryman's bunk looks hard and uncomfortable. No wonder he can be so cranky. Several oil lamps are strategically placed around the boat's cabin to eliminate the island's dark nights.
Would you be interested in this ring?
I don't need charity. I won't take nothing from no man till I get back in business and can earn my own keep.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
What? But in a really weird way. Kinda creepy. We've got a bunch of items now. Oh, no way off the islands yet. Oh wait, what am I doing? Gonna go in the pawn shop again?
Good day.
It's that old guy again.
Good day, sir.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble, and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
Remembers now when I give this?
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are very kind, and I'll remember about the map.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar.
Oh, I forgot about the...
The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Seconds later.
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved.
Google drunk.
He just got a magic map. You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that. Yes, Master. Now, what is this about a magic map? With a map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly as I can. I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
An elegant little glass dish decorates the countertop. The dish is full of green mints offered for the enjoyment of the customer. Alexander takes a mint.
What happens if I eat the mint?
Alexander eats the mint. Not bad. A little stale, perhaps.
Oh, how come he was getting drunk off of it?
Alexander takes a mint.
Can I just keep eating them?
Alexander eats the mint. Not bad. A little stale, perhaps. Alexander takes a mint. Alexander eats the mint. Alexander takes a mint.
It really does nothing if you keep eating them?
Alexander eats the mint. Not bad. A little stale, perhaps.
So why was he getting drunk off
Alexander takes a mint.
Huh, this guy's gone.
A nightingale perches on a high branch of the tree. She sings the most beautiful song Alexander has ever heard.
Forgot about this.
Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale just looks warily at Alexander and keeps her distance. Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale just looks warily at Alexander and keeps her distance.
I don't remember how you do this.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop. Alexander shows the object the nightingale.
Hello, Nightingale. What a lovely tune you sing.
The nightingale only looks at Alexander suspiciously and continues to sing.
Hello, Nightingale. What a lovely tune.
The nightingale.
I guess I can't really do anything with it.
Alexander examines the tree's hollow, but finds nothing of interest.
So it's time to see the other islands.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. A little fawn is feeding on a grassy hillock near the sea. Alexander is standing at the edge of the sea on a heavily forested island. As far as the eyes can see, tall trees spread out their branches as though straining to link arms, their tops forming a canopy above. A path leads north through the forest.
Oh.
Alexander is traveling on a path through
Don't get the rabbit.
A pond lies across the path. The water boils as if over some magical flame. An old abandoned hunter's lamp is hanging on one of the trees. Alexander wonders who might have hunted in these dense woods.
Yeah, I don't think I can do anything with this.
To get to the lamp, Alexander must first cross the pond.
Ouch! That water is hot.
Alexander decides to brave the boiling pond.
Bad idea.
And soon realizes a deep sympathy for soup vegetables as he learns the true meaning of being in a stew.
Tickets up. Next.
It looks like Alexander's in a bit of a stew.
Wow. I guess there's not much I can do here.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Oh, right. This place.
A string of letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup, but this is ridiculous. Alexander wades into the sea to get the strange object in the water. ocean currents tug at Alexander's legs. That object is just a bit out of reach.
I remember how you get this.
Using that on the sentence in the water would be pointless.
Hmm.
The ocean is not as calm as it appears. Underwater currents tug at Alexander's legs. One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy. He seems to be the only one who can't sleep. In the oyster's mouth, Alexander can see a glint of white.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
What's wrong with your mouth?
No offense, but it hurts too much to talk.
This voice actor sounds familiar too.
What's wrong with your mouth?
No offense, but it hurts too much to talk.
Sounds like the one who did the three ducks in DuckTales.
Why don't you let me see if I can help?
No way! No one's looking in my mouth. I hate dentists.
That won't do anything for the little oyster.
Is that closer now?
Alexander wades into the sea to get the strange object in the water. The ocean currents tug at Alexander's legs. That object is just a bit out of reach.
Still.
The ocean is not as calm as...
I think it's moving closer though.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great!
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles,
what is this book
stretched
about?
over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard,
Excuse me?
yields a gilded minnow of precise measurements, 2,069 centidrills by
Pretty sure you get the time this time.
3,023,000.
It's moving that fast, I can't do it.
Puns, not punts, as might be expected. This is not to say, however, in any sense whatsoever, that deviations in mean temperature of 5...
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Hey! You fixed my mouth! It feels great!
The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends. The flawless pearl is the largest Alexander's ever seen. A string of letters float.
I swear it's closer than when I started. I seriously not pick it
ocean
up.
currents tug at Alexander's legs. That object is just a bit... Alexander wades deeper into the sea to get the strange object in the water. The underwater tow is amazingly strong here. Before Alexander can retreat,
Of course.
the currents around the... As Alexander struggles to the surface for the third and
Tickets up. Next.
Nothing like getting swept off your feet.
I know I can't get by this part, but let's try it anyway.
Alexander hears someone coming.
love this
Five
part.
fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies.
Oh no.
Old Tantro, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
I don't think I have anything that smells, so I can't really do anything to him.
The small green mint looks very tasty.
Yeah, I've got nothing. Old book.
Alexander holds the item out for the gnome with the stupendous nose.
My nose cannot be tricked that way. The smell of man still rules the day.
A man so sailor knows, into the waiting sea he goes.
Oh jeez. Oh, so it does kill you when you fail.
The gnomes toss Alexander too far out into the sea for him to get his footing. The currents drag him under.
Of course. So I need like a bunch of items to get through that.
Tickets up. Next.
Guess
Okay,
those
two of them
gnomes
already.
couldn't reach a consensus.
Yeah, I know this one's for the feel. This one's for taste. Don't remember what some of
Alexander
the other
pulls
ones
out
are.
his magic map.
Guess we're going to the Sacred
Alexander feels
Mountain.
a strange pulling sensation.
This place is fun. Oh, some items already here. Whoops.
Alexander takes the feather. Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor.
Oh, okay,
For
so
a
we
moment, he can smell nothing else.
we have that one.
Alexander is carrying an unusually large black feather.
Hmm. The one thing I'm trying to remember, I think this is what I need to bring up here. I can't remember if it is or not.
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
Ignorance kills, wisdom elevates.
Nothing happens.
Is this copy protection? I don't remember now. Let's see. There's apparently one that says language of the ancients, and it's just a bunch of symbols. I don't think that's what this is, though.
There
I just don't
appears to be
remember what this
something
is.
etched into the face of the cliff.
What am I trying to spell here? What if I just go wisdom?
Nothing happens.
Hmm.
There appears to be something.
How come that was only 6 that time? Oh, there's no R. How come I can hit so many of them now? Is it just to be finished like a wine?
Nothing happens. There appears to the rock. The rock has been etched by some unknown hand. One may need to read about the Logic Cliffs in the guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles in order to understand this mystical inscription.
So, is copy protection? That's not the language of the ancients. Hold on. Let me view the manual. Scroll down to King's Quest 6 manual. Okay. Oh no, that just brings you to the symbols. Wait, Logic Cliffs. Oh wait, okay, so rise apparently? Oh. Why does it do this when I minimize? Okay.
Huge blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs.
This is copy protection.
Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
Why are there only two that it tells you how to solve here, though? This is the first challenge, the third challenge, and the fifth. So are two of them, like, solvable without this?
Whoa, wait a minute.
The steps cannot be moved any further backwards or forwards.
What?
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, wait. Whoa, wait.
God damn it.
Whoa, wait a... Whoa, wait.
Why don't I remember doing that?
Whoa, wait a minute.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Oh, so this is the one that I need that language thing for. Oh, jeez. Master of Languages will... What am I trying to spell? Rise again? So, if I am trying to spell rise... That should be R. I'm looking for a weird... That one? I think that's... Yeah, it does. He looks like a weird shoe. Oh, there it is. Uh-oh. Only 4 letters, though.
Nothing happens. Alexander examines the
Master of Languages will... But also, it mentions what the symbols mean, but what is, like... What am I trying to spell here? I don't get it. There's no hint on it on here. Hmm. What else can I spell? Like all the entire alphabet's here, right? What other four-letter words could I make that would... Hmm. Yeah, I don't know this. And why is it doing that again? Why does it do that? Keyboard apparently that does it.
Nothing happens. The sound of Alexander's voice doesn't seem to have any effect on the cliff etchings. Alexander examines the...
Master of Languages will... I don't know. It looks like it's 4 letters.
Reading about the ancient ones in the guidebook to the land of the Green Isles may help a puzzled journeyer.
Maybe there's a hint besides this, like ancient ones. Let's see. Ancient ones alphabet. Each symbol represents an emotion, color, creature. So what am I trying to spell with this?
Reading about the ancient ones in the guidebook to the land of the Green Isles may help a puzzled journeyer.
Oh wait, there's a whole section of the ancient ones rather than the alphabet. This is a long paragraph. I'm just gonna try to skim it and see if I see anything. Master of Languages will soar. Okay. I like that it's like actually written in there. How does Alexander know about this shit? Where's that one for O? Am I blind? Because I do not see that one. Looks like a weird... Oh, there it is. A? It's a weird looking one too. It's hard to make out that one. I think it's this. The middle looks kind of off-center in the picture I have. There's our...
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Two down. Apparently there's 5 of them.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Okay, this one has its own hint as well, right? Okay. Third challenge, the Stones of Stealth. 4 men standing in a row, third from the left, and down you go. Wait a minute, though. That sounds like a bad thing.
Nothing happened. Alexander...
Just in order, move you on. Youngest, oldest, and second son.
Alexander gets the feeling that was the wrong button.
Oops!
Tickets up. Next.
What a riddle. Stones of Stealth. Find a guide to keep your health. Alexander
Youngest, oldest, and second.
Alexander gets the feeling that was the wrong button.
Oops!
Alexander... Nothing happens.
Really?
Alexander Nothing happened. Alexander... Nothing happened. Alexander...
I don't get this.
4 plain stone buttons have been carved into the cliffs. One may need to read about the logic cliffs in the guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles in order to understand the 4... Nothing happened. Alexander... Alexander gets the feeling...
Oops!
I just noticed, I thought there was a hair on my screen. Apparently that's part of the... 'cause I guess they scanned the manual. And there's a hair there.
Alexander gets the feeling...
I don't understand this riddle.
Alexander...
There's 4 men standing in a row. Third from the left and down you go, which is, I guess, the third button. The rest in order move you on. And the rest in order.
Nothing happened. Alexander
And it says the oldest, or the youngest, the oldest, and the second son.
Alexander gets the feeling that...
Like, I can only think of youngest and oldest as in left or right.
4 plain stone buttons have been carved into the cliffs. One may need to...
The rest in order move you on. What do you mean in order?
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
So why is the youngest the furthest one? I don't get it. I don't know. It's a weird riddle.
Whoa, wait a...
Alexander examines
Someone
the
has
strange
no
etchings
hint.
in the face of the cliff.
Sacred 4. I guess it's probably an Ancient Ones thing. Sacred 4? God, this manual is so long-winded on this. I don't see anything saying Sacred 4. Wait, if each symbol has its own meaning... Looking at what the symbols represent, nothing stands out as sacred. I don't understand. Something I'm missing here? Oh wait, there's a whole section called the Island of the Sacred Mountain, because that's what this is called. God, why is this manual so long-winded? Yeah, I don't see anything talking about Sacred 4. What am I missing here? Sacred 4. Would they be animals, feelings, or colors? I don't know. I think I'm just gonna look this up because I don't get it. I feel like I've sat here too long trying to figure it out. I don't... What does this mean? Sacred 4? I love it when I search something in Google and then I go to try to find it in the page and it doesn't come up. So it says it's supposed to be 4 sacred elements? Well, I didn't see that anywhere in the manual, and I just read through giant paragraphs. So I'm just gonna type the ones that it says here. Although they have, like, pictures that don't quite look like the ones that are here. I guess this one? Like they redrew these. Ones that look like stairs. I don't really. Oh, there it is.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. I don't know, like, where I'm supposed to look for that. It's kind of the worst copy protection I've ever seen, where you have to, like, actually read through paragraphs.
Whoa, wait.
This one is apparently ascend, as it says. With the type in another
Alexander
one.
Nothing happened.
I typed that wrong.
Alexander.
Huh?
Nothing happened.
Hold on. Fifth challenge says ascend. Felt the same way that I typed it.
Alexander examines. The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Maybe it has to be in order or something. Whoa. Stop that.
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, wait.
God, why does he have to do that?
Whoa, wait. Whoa, wait.
You made it.
Alexander finds himself, finally, at the top of the cliffs. Exhausted, he steps over the lip of the plateau and stands.
Why do you make such an effort to climb the cliffs, young man? The winged ones who live on this island have the power of flight. You could have it too, if you'd only eat a berry from this magical flying nightshade bush. See? The sweet berries will make you float like a petal on the wind.
Sure it will.
Try some.
The old woman has a pleasant grandmotherly face, but something about her makes Alexander uneasy.
But who are you, matron?
Who cares? I mean, I am only a poor old woman who wishes you well, handsome stranger. Think of me as your grandmama, if you like.
A bush with dark, shiny leaves grows against the east cliff wall. The old woman identified it as nightshade. A small cluster of black berries tops the bush.
Come, stranger, trust me. Think of what I'm offering you.
I'm guessing I can't take them without eating them.
All right.
Oh,
I'll
God.
try some of your berries.
Oh, goody. Eat quickly, dear boy, and I'll show you the way to the Lord and Lady of this isle.
What?
Slightly bitter, pretty one.
Tickets up. Next.
And then there's some land I have for sale in the death bogs of Tamir.
All right, then. Stay tied to the ground like a load of lead. See if I care. You human.
How odd. The old woman just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Perhaps those berries are even more powerful than she led Alexander to believe.
Look, an intruder! Hold! How did you get up here, human?
I climbed the cliffs.
That is not possible. No one has solved the cliffs of logic in several centuries. And if the cliffs
Not
were
really
to be
logic.
solved, it would certainly not be by a human.
I didn't mean to trespass. I only wanted to visit this beautiful island.
No visitors have been welcome on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain in years. Not since the Red and White Queens had spies in the guise of friendly visitors steal our island's sacred golden fleece. But we will not display such foolish trust again. You will have to answer to Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. They will determine what will be done with you. I can assure you, it will not be pleasant.
With what trickery did you master the cliffs of logic and reach the city of the Winged Ones?
Only the magic of clear thought, my lord. I meant no harm.
The cliffs of logic. It is the sacred oracle's prophecy, Azure.
Yes, Ariel. It is lucky for you, human, that climbing the cliffs of logic is part of a prophecy that I cannot ignore. We have just been ordered by Wazir Al-Hazred himself to dispose of any strangers that might land on our fair isle. But the prophecy would have a different fate befall you.
The prophecy predicts that whosoever climbs the cliffs of logic will defeat the Minotaur. The Minotaur has violated our sacred catacombs and eats our young in sacrifice. Our own daughter, Lady Celeste, was taken there only this morning as his most recently demanded offering.
A dilemma, then. Whom shall I obey in regards to your fate, the oracle or the crown? But since Al-Hazred did not dictate how I was to dispose of intruders, and since you cannot possibly survive the catacombs, your imprisonment there should serve both purposes quite admirably.
I will not resist you in this, my lord. I shall do my best to save your daughter.
First, I must tell you that the catacombs are a labyrinth of rooms, a place of exceeding danger. You will need many tools and clear wits to survive it.
Azure, he must be allowed time to prepare for the task, if only in the slight chance that he could actually save our Celeste.
Oh, very well. Intruder, my guards will take you to the beach. Prophesied hero or spy,
I think that means
any
I'm missing
soldier
an
must
item.
be granted time to prepare for battle. Be warned, if you have the courage to actually return to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain and face your destiny, my guards will have orders to take you to the catacombs on sight.
I understand, Lord Azure.
If by some miracle you succeed, human, the prophecy grants you a visit with the sacred oracle. Her powers are mighty, her vision all-seeing. Many of our own citizens would be willing to risk certain death in the catacombs for a chance at a meeting with the oracle. May that thought give you the courage to return.
Oh, I will return, Lady Ariel.
I think I know
You
what
have
I'm
my
missing. I
word.
just don't remember where you get it. So yeah, I've heard that they throw you directly in if you have all the items you need. They let you leave, that means you're missing something. Didn't want to be complete dicks to you?
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm missing. Gonna be in there soon anyway. I just can't think of where I get that from.
Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale just looks warily at Alexander. Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale just looks warily at Alexander.
Nothing I could do here, right?
Formal hedges and bushes provide dramatic landscaping for the castle. The bushes are probably not hiding anything useful. Besides, they are too prickly to examine closely.
Maybe I'm supposed to go to the Isle of Wonder first? Oh jeez. Where did he throw it?
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
Oh right, he was throwing out the wizard stuff. That's...
There's no reason to use that on the ink bottle.
So I'm pretty sure I have everything I need for those sense guys.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Let's give this back for now.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince.
Alexander looks closely at the...
I don't remember what the foot's for. I'm just thinking about it. I'm pretty sure
That
he's
mechanical
the bird.
nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very good, Prince.
Thank you.
The mechanical nightingale's hard tin body doesn't feel anything like a real bird's soft feathers. Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and listens to its sweet, sunny tune.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it on the ground. The mechanical nightingale sings a sweet, tinny tune. The real nightingale in the tree cocks her head and listens intently. The nightingale flies to a lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that this human might not be so bad. Alexander holds out the poem to the nightingale. To Alexander's surprise, the nightingale swoops down and grabs the page from his hand. The nightingale flies off towards the castle with the poem. Where might she be taking it?
Can't remember if I have to come back right away for a reward for that. Why do you have to walk all the way down?
The nightingale sings her crystalline song in the boughs of the old tree. The nightingale looks at Alexander curiously, as though waiting for something. Alexander examines the tree's hollow, but finds nothing of interest.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to give you something back.
The little bird couldn't do anything with something of that shape.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else, but...
Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The little bird does not appear to be interested.
I think there's more that I have to give the bird. Oh, I think about stopping soon. Let's see if I can get through the Wonder Place.
Alexander pulls. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
The thing's still there. Not any closer. Wait, is that what
Alexander hears someone coming.
Always try that later.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grosvenor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
Oh, the little piece of paper has gone towards shore.
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me.
Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
That sounds like that one dog. What the hell's his name now?
Trilly dilly,
One with the
use your
jowls.
hand. Is it beast or is it man?
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
Off they go forever.
Alexander did it! He's fooled the guards! Alexander doesn't want to taste the salty seawater.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
Where?
Alexander is carrying, oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?"
Okay, I'd like to keep playing, but I feel like this is a good place to stop. It's been about 4 hours altogether. Wonder 2, I guess. Got a lot done today. Finished
Taking
5.
off your adventurer's cap so soon?
Got a good start into 6. I have a feeling 6 is going to take a little longer, if I remember correctly. Or it could just take another stream. But anyways, I am done for the night. See if I can find someone to raid. Moggers is streaming. What? He doesn't stream often. So go watch Moggers. I will see you guys later.